Ah, and of course now it's easier if I've turned on the microphone, really, isn't it? So everything I just said you didn't hear, and you're all typing now. We can't hear you, Tim. We can't hear you. Okay, so here we go. So I've got I'm on this camera as well with Lee, and I'm not sure whether that's going to work or not, but I can actually put up Lee. Oh, there he is. So this is going to be delayed for Lee because this is on my Mac now. So let's go back to this one, which is the main one. Okay, so let me just poor connection. Okay, glug of oil. Yep, lol. I'm going to say something then. Hi guys.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes, I can. Yeah. Basically, it's really weird because I'm delayed twice now. Okay. Okay. Let's just go back to you. There you go. And again, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the confusion, but we're learning every day, every day. So this is where we are today. Zooming in to Tenerife. And we're in Cayo Savaji, at my flat in the corner there. And this is something I did earlier with my 300-degree camera. And zooming down. And I've even got the same shirt on, look. So I'd like to introduce Lee the MacMaster now. You're going to hear him, but you're probably not going to see him. So, hi, Lee.
Hi, how are you, Tim?
We're fine, thanks. I'm so sorry that this other thing didn't work, but we're on FaceTime, so that might work. But we're using a lot of bandwidth now, so we'll see. So I've got you here now on my thing, and we'll just blend in there. The YouTube.com, the MacMaster, Lee Alexander Davey. And thanks for suggesting this, because basically what we were going to do, let me go to this camera. Basically what we were going to do was have a chit chat online, and it was going to be sort of blended in, and I failed miserably. But we can still hear you, I think.
Well, it's all about the information that we're going to try and put out there and what's happened, because obviously a few technical issues, but what I wanted to speak to you about is, and let the people and the viewers know, was obviously, as they probably already do, that Tenerife now is on a essential flights only list again.
That's true, I saw that, and there've been people going round and round and round in circles trying to find out the logic behind it, and there just isn't any, really.
Well, can I just ask one question before we start?
Sure.
It's question number 10. When do you think of me coming back to Tenerife?
I am not sure. I am definitely not sure. It's.
I know there's.
You go ahead.
I know that. Sorry, I know there's reasonings behind it, supposedly from the UK government, but they've sort of encompassed Tenerife and the Canary Islands in with Spain and also the Balearics as well. There's no reasoning behind it, as far as I can see, because what are the figures on Tenerife at the moment, the COVID figures?
Well, funnily enough, the website just went down about 5 minutes ago, and I was looking for the latest. But luckily enough, I did take some screen captures from about lunchtime. So if we take a look at this, this is basically the number of cases active, the blue number on the right-hand side there, 57 active cases. That is up from 8 last week. But don't forget, we did have a lot of pateras, two pateras at least, coming in. Those are like the little canoes that come over from Africa with some refugees in it, so or illegal immigrants, depending on which way you look at it. And so, but they were captured and put on buses and taken to Candelaria, which is in the north. That's why you're probably seeing a lot of red in the north, because that's where it is. If you're looking at the south on the map now, you'll see that we haven't really got anything here. So we'll go to the the time frame here, and you can see how it spiked up, and we got those big spikes near the end or middle of last week. But basically, if you look at the last 14 days, you'll see the whole of the south has been COVID free for at least 30 days. And I went in to get the details there. Adehe, where we are, has actually been 75 days without a case. And Arona, which is Los Cristianos, Las Americas, is been 57 days without a case. So basically, that's where we stand at the moment.
Right, so that's where we stand at the moment there. Now, the UK government is saying it's unsafe to travel to the Canary Islands and to Tenerife, when the UK, I'm just looking at the government website here, gov.uk, that we've got 300,111 cases confirmed, lab confirmed UK cases to date. And we've also got daily number of lab confirmed UK cases is 685. So where's the logic?
Well, I'm not sure actually. I mean, a lot of people have been putting theories out there, but basically what they said was we don't want people coming from Spain, but we're not telling you not to go to the Canaries and the Balearics. And then, of course, the Ángel Torres went up in everybody's face and says, "Why are you doing this to us? Because it will cripple us." And people are really gauging for the 1st of August and everything like that. And all of a sudden, people can come, but they have to quarantine on the way back. So a lot of people are cancelling because I think Jet2 and somebody else cancelled all flights on yesterday or the day before. They said they're going to be coming back, but that's not a problem. Then, of course, our foreign minister went, and the tourism minister went and discussed in Madrid with the British embassy and said, "Why are you differentiating between Spain and the Canaries? Why don't you treat the Canaries differently?" And they said, "Well, we won't differentiate then." So now Canaries are banned. So basically, it was like sort of saying equal rights for women, right? And they say, okay, men get half wages. It's be careful what you ask for.
I mean, I did a video earlier on. I haven't put it up yet, but and I basically had a few comments saying, and I'm not saying that any of this, by the way, are facts. I'm just going to be careful there. But they're saying, is there any truth in with people saying that because Spain won't back the UK on the Brexit agreements, they're now sort of like giving them a slap in the face? Is there more down to politics? I'm not saying that there is. I'm just saying, is there more to this, and it's all down to politics?
Well, it is always politics when you're talking with politicians. Obviously, they never stop politicking. And it could be that. It could also be that Boris Johnson wants people to spend the money at home this summer. So that's another option. So it might be not as sort of, it might be trying to get Britain going again instead of trying to give Spain one. Unfortunately, whatever happens, if we lose a high proportion of our tourism in Tenerife is 35% of the GDP. And so 35% is a lot. You know, it's not like, it really is a lot. So if we lose 60% of that 35% because the Brits don't come, are we going to get extra Germans and extra Italians and extra Scandinavian people? I don't think so. In fact, Germany are now sort of saying, well, you know, don't go to Andalusia, don't go to Catalonia. So they may end up also doing something like that. But it's a problem. It's a problem.
Do you think it's going to hit businesses hard in Tenerife with this?
It already has. And they've also said that we probably couldn't afford to extend the ERTA, which is the help that the workers are getting of being off. But today I did read very quickly on Twitter that they are discussing that again to extend that ERTA. So even though the businesses will be hit hard, and anybody who's not prepared for it could go under. In fact, some already have. So we are on the cusp of something new. You know, I don't suppose we'll end up as a farming community again, but I think it's changed forever. I think it's changed forever.
Now, the UK government's website states that their advice is non-essential travel is not allowed. Well, it's their advice is to not travel there. That doesn't mean that you can't, though, does it?
Well, basically, as a free country, you cannot tell your people what to do, so you have to advise. Now, obviously, if you said you can't leave the country or you can't go here, you can't go there, then you're not a free country. So it's always going to be advice. What's going to happen though is if you do come out, you need to get the correct insurance. I mean, there obviously is insurances to go into countries that are deemed not safe, but obviously you're going to pay through the nose. And traveling without insurance is a risk. You know, obviously if you're rich enough to do that, and or you, well, it's just a risk. You know, so.
I'm, I said on the video that I recorded earlier, I'm not going to take the advice. I've never taken advice in my life. If you ask my school.
But what about the flight? I mean, they were cancelling flights. So if this doesn't change by the end of the week, your flight might not even be valid.
I'm hoping that either Ryanair or Wizz Air will still do a flight now. As regards insurance, and I'm not saying anybody else should do this, by the way, and they're saying essential travel only. Well, it's my job, so I deem it essential.
Okay.
You know, so that's my argument. If they ask me at the airport why you're travelling, because it's for my work. Like I said, they can't stop anyway. It's just advice. So I will travel if Wizz Air or Ryanair have still got flights available. However, as regards to the insurance, it is really expensive, and I am going to have to take a bit of a risk on that.
Yeah, as I say, if you do have an emergency, your IGIC card does cover you. So if you have an emergency that you need to go to a hospital or see a doctor, your IGIC card is okay. But repatriation costs won't be overtaken. So no jet skis, no jumping off a mountain, I don't imagine. Don't do anything risky.
I won't be doing anything risky. It's interesting though. I just sent you somebody's saying on your comments here, by the way, that Ryanair will fly you there apparently.
Okay.
So hopefully that's the case. I'd just like to say that anybody who has had their holiday cancelled, I do feel for them.
Me too.
Because they literally, a lot of people save up for this for a year, and then you know, to be hit by this, it's terrible. However, Mr. Andrew Knight sent me a story that's just been on the news. I think I sent that to you earlier. If you want to, did you get a chance to read that?
I didn't get a chance to read that. I can bring it up if you like.
Yeah, if you want to bring that, it's quite interesting. It's literally just breaking news on Sky. That.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you to my external camera here, so people are now looking at my pool. Let me just pan down there, just to show off that I can go to an external camera and move it now. And now I'll take a look at the message you sent me, and go to that link you gave me. Where is it? Hope for holidaymakers as the government. Okay. Your privacy, I'll accept the settings. So let's go back to here now. So what we're seeing now is the news from Sky. I'm reading this live now, so there you go. Hope for holidaymakers as government looks at regional travel corridor to Spanish islands. Lords Ministers Baroness Veri of Norbiton said the idea was appropriate consideration following anger from tourism chiefs. Okay, holidays in Spain have been given hope after the UK government revealed it is considering setting up regional travel corridors for low-risk areas to escape quarantine. I don't know when this was actually done. She told Parliament on Tuesday, which is today. For the time being, we're taking the approach by country borders and measures in the case. Okay, so that's the reason, basically. They're taking the measures by country and not by regions within a country. We saw a 75 increase in the cases on Thursday and Friday relative to Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, it's hope, but it is just hearsay, unfortunately.
It is my personal opinion, or what I feel is that I think that they'll do a U-turn on this, but not until the school holidays and the holidays are over here. So by the end of August, then I think you'll find it changes, because I believe they want the they want the UK people to spend the money back here in the UK. There's a lot more to it.
There is probably a lot more to it than that. Yeah.
So, I mean, anybody else on the comments? Are you?
I'm not actually monitoring the comments because I've got to show on my screen. I've got to show your face.
Okay, can I ask them to
Yes,
comment
please.
then?
Yeah, if you could read through them.
Okay, so is there anybody else out there who's watching? We've got 234 watching live. Is there anybody else who's going to take no notice of the UK government and get a flight over if they can to Tenerife? Is there anybody else out there who will do that? Are you risking to do that? Are you willing to take the risk and do that?
Well, a couple of my friends who've already booked and said they're coming are still coming. So, yeah, I don't think there's a problem.
Yeah. Somebody else is saying here, I think I'm slightly behind on here, but they suspect the same about the end of the school holidays. We've also got Jeff Witt saying never travel without insurance. Good advice.
It is very good advice, but everybody's got to take it or not, as the case may be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to take the gamble. Debbie Addis says she's going to go. So
Hi, Debbie.
And we've got Sam Williams saying that they're going in October and they're hoping by then it will be okay. I mean, another thing is you've got a 14-day quarantine,
right,
on when you get back to the UK. Now, this has been puzzling me, and I don't know whether you'll know the answer to this. If I come back to the UK,
yeah,
and I've then got to get in a 14-day quarantine, which I'm quite excited about because I want to vlog that 14-day quarantine and see whether the government check up on me or not.
You're right, but see, the way you ask the question is, how do I put this delicately? If the 14-day quarantine is to protect your loved ones, the people around you, and they're thinking that you may have contracted the virus whilst you're over here, so therefore it's only fair for you not to pass that virus on to your loved ones. Now, and the government tells you to do that for that reason. And they only check up on you if you're the type of person that is not going to do that, right? So you've got to just ask yourself a question: why am I doing this? It's hard, I know.
So I can't come back and self-isolate or quarantine with my girlfriend and my children in the house, and that's not allowed.
I didn't say it's not allowed, it's just not recommended, because if you've got the virus over here, which you're not going to get, but let's assume that the reason that they're saying it is because they think you're going to go to a hotbed of virus and you don't know whether you've got it. So let's say you're in the middle of Catalonia, middle of Madrid, right? You've been shaking hands with everybody, kissing all the girls, and then you go back. What would you do if you knew you had the virus? You'd stay away from all your loved ones, and you don't know you've got the virus for 14 days. So that's.
So when I could.
It's not the government telling you.
Then, well, when I come back, I'm going to come back. I've got to come back to my girlfriend's. I've got nowhere else to go.
Right.
So if I come back to my girlfriend's house, what are they going to do? Come hammering on the door to see whether I'm here or not?
Theoretically, yes. I mean, I don't think they've got the resources to do that, but it's not the point of them hammering on the door. It's the point of whether you are going to keep everybody else safe. You know what I mean? So it's basically a question of your character. Yeah? If you're going to say, I don't have it, down the pub with the mates, right? Even though you should be quarantining, and then 14 days later you realise you've got it, and you've got to decide then, well, who did I see? So if you want to take that risk, then, everybody's free to do what they want. It's just, for me, it's not the question, is the government telling me to do something? It's the question, they're recommending that if you go to a hotbed of coronavirus, when you come back, you should take care. Now, personally, I think we don't have it here. I'm more worried about the people who've been out 14 days before they get here and got it.
Correct. And that's where it's all, Stuart Walker saying, well said, Tim, it's all just complete And somebody else, Andrew Knight, there we go. We've got Andrew Knight. No way can they police the quarantine. Can count on one hand how many have been fined, which is what I'm saying. It's just absolute madness.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're hoping that you're going to be the type of person that doesn't need policing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not. I wouldn't put anybody in danger. If I was going to go to Madrid or wherever it is high, then I mean, I wouldn't go there. For a start, I wouldn't go there.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
if I did,
yeah, I'm not saying, Lee. I'm not saying that you're not going to be safe going back. You're probably going to be safer going back than you are coming in. The only thing is, if you have the attitude that to say, they're not going to check up, I'm going to go. Let's assume you're the one in the million that they're going to check on, and all of a sudden you're at a grand out. And don't do it because it's a grand fine. Do it because it's the right thing to do. 14 days isn't long. Or, as you say, don't go to the hotbed. It's just that we are not a hotbed, so that's why we're fighting really hard now to get the UK to change its mind, because it's not. We can't do anything really. To get the UK to change its mind, to look at the figures and to say, okay, south of Tenerife is really safe as long as we only send responsible citizens there who have been washing their hands and not kissing and cuddling and going out on a Saturday night and getting alambrad. And and bring the virus over. We're taking the chance now because we say we have protocols in place that if you are found to have it, we've got track and trace, we've got you registering where you're going to be, we know everybody that was on your flight when you came in, and theoretically we know where you're going to stay. But
Graham Preston saying, if Tenerife has less cases than the UK, how is it not safe to travel?
Basically, as I said before, what they're doing is they're not looking at the autonomous communities inside of Spain. They're saying that don't go to Spain at the moment. So the FCO has said don't go to Spain at the moment. We don't recommend travel. At the beginning, they did say, but you can travel to the Balearics and the Canaries. And then we said, but that's not fair because you're getting them to quarantine when they go back. So please take the quarantine away. And instead of doing that, they said, okay, well, don't go to the Balearics and the Canaries anymore. So it's, as I said before, we asked for something, they give us the total opposite.
We've got Andrew Knight, our third musketeer here, is saying there's more chance of catching it at Bournemouth. People have given up on the UK government advice. It's been a farce from day one. 3 months late with no masks, loose lockdown, etc. People will now start to not listen.
Unfortunately, that is also true. But I mean, let's get away from this. Let's get to the positive bit of what we can do. So you can lobby your MP, you can sign a petition, you can
make a vlog.
Yeah, make a vlog. Yeah, and hi Boris, I know you're watching.
Hey, Boris is watching, by the way. Can I just ask him if he is watching this? Where were you when it was geography lessons? Because Tenerife is nowhere near mainland Spain.
No. Got to be careful. You got to be careful. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to ask everybody to. There you go. If you're not already following me on my page in Facebook, you can go to @LWMST on Facebook. And obviously you're already watching me on YouTube, but I did a look at some of the analytics, and 70% of people that watch the video are not subscribed to the channel. So not that I want subscribers. I mean, I do like the subscribers, but more important to me is if you give it a like. So I'm going to take a deep breath and give you the outside view again. And I want you to just take your little mouse or your finger and just press that like button, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go back to Lee. Here we go. And I'll blend in his details there.
We've got, can I just say, we've got Groy62 said, Lee, you are a high-profile individual nowadays. I suspect you may get a chap at the door if you're publicly flaunting the rules on travel and quarantine.
That is probably true. Yeah.
And he'll get a camera in his face.
We've contacted the authorities.
can I say, by the way, if there are any MacMaster subscribers on here, please hit the subscribe button on Tim's channel there, because I'm going to be doing a lot more with Tim. He's great. He's done, and you did a really good video the other day as well. Doing a lot. I like you. I love your live videos.
Well, basically, what I did is I've got this software called Switcher Studio, and it allows me to go live anywhere. And I got a little hub which allows me to do it on the beach. And I thought, for a bit more value add for the people who are watching, I would go to different places Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and do a live. So Wednesday's going to be the home day. So that's going to be the balcony banter day, and we're going to invite a guest up with a bottle of wine, and then so that's going to be the one with Christina in it. In fact, Christina was going to be on this, and she actually left us a video message. You want to see it?
Yeah.
So we won't be able to hear this, Lee, but everybody else will be able to hear this. So this is Christina's video message. So Christina, you can't be on the live show today. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I need to relax a bit now, because I just been on my training bike, and today is a quiet day for me.
Okay, see you later.
See you later.
See you later.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
So there we go.
Okay, so we've also got some more messages on here. We've got Gimbal Walk guy on there, TV, looking at Google Maps. Tenerife. Tenerife's distance from mainland Spain is further than England to mainland Spain.
Yeah, we are. I think you ought to ban people going to England myself.
It's absolutely crazy. What day is it you do your balcony banter then?
Okay, it's Wednesday's going to be the balcony banter, the live one. Monday we'll be live somewhere with Christina, and Friday I'll be live somewhere on my own. Well, not on my own. I'm hoping to meet some tourists and interview them. So it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around about 5 o'clock. I'm hoping to hit that 5 o'clock mark. I was a bit late yesterday. I was a bit late today at 4 o'clock. But what I'll do is I'll go somewhere, do a little bit of B-roll filming around, do some interviews with people offline, and then bring it all into the studio, sit in a bar, get myself a coffee or a Fanta, Andrew, and then distribute that so we can have a chit chat. And I should have tomorrow. I should have another tablet that I can do the comments on, so I'll be able to do the comments myself. I was going to do the comments live here, but obviously with the thing that didn't work with the integrated invite a guest, I had to do FaceTime with you. I hope it's working and not too delayed, everybody.
I've just got another message here. Can I just read this one out? Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
We've got Graham Shaw. He says, "Afternoon, Lee and Tim. I spoke to my mate in Reef yesterday. He said he was looking at shutting his shop again. He's not happy, as he said it's totally safe in the Reef. A lot of angry people out there in Tenerife.
Well, as I said, I mean, I posted something the other day. I went past Siam Park and I saw a couple of people going in the side door, so I pulled over quick and ran over and said, "What's the chances of the park opening?" And the guy with the walkie-talkie said, "We're hoping for the 1st of August, but we'll let you know tomorrow." So I was expecting the next day. I was expecting some sort of announcement, but it hasn't happened. Somebody else in the know did say that Laurel Park are planning to open on the 1st of August, but now that's all out the window because one of my German friends who lives in the north, I think she knows one of the directors, and he was saying they were going to do a thing called a Probetag, which is a tryout day, and if they got like 1,000 visitors, then they'll say, okay, we'll open up. So I think that this has put the kibosh on that. So even though I was quite positive with Siam Park and Laurel Park, depending on what happens this week, is that's going to be key, I think. I'm sorry, sorry I can't read your comments, I'm afraid. I could get Christina's telephone, but she's listening to her audiobook.
Oh, we've got an important one here. Tony Gilchrist says, "Andrew, you're doing a good job advertising Santa."
Andrew, if you're watching, and I know you are, you're doing a great job advertising Fanta. I'm Tim, by the way. Just in case you think I'm a young Liverpudlian, I'm an old Mancunian. Well, actually, I found out the other day I was a Salfodian.
Salfodian. There you go. Well, there is one other thing as well that I was going to question you on, and I tried to do it earlier, but I went off track. If I fly to Tenerife,
Yeah.
I'm there for 2 weeks, I've got to quarantine for 2 weeks when I get back,
Yeah.
or 10, 14 days. What happens if I want to fly off somewhere else after the first 3 or 4 days to go off and film somewhere else? What about that then? Because surely the quarantine won't apply because I'm not in the UK.
Okay, let's not use the word quarantine, right? Let's use the word self-isolate, which means you don't meet people. So let's assume not meeting people means don't get on a plane with 235 people.
Yeah.
So if you're self-isolating, that means you're not meeting people.
Right.
So don't go to the airport, don't sit on a plane with so many people. So I understand your logic, but basically all they're saying is, if you have contracted the disease wherever you came from, doesn't matter in the world, then please wait for 2 weeks before you start touching people. Now,
or if I go to Tenerife, right,
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, and I fly out of Tenerife into, and I don't know which countries we're allowed to go to, into a country that the UK is allowed to travel to
Yeah.
for 2 weeks,
yeah,
then surely I won't need to self-isolate on the way back because I've gone elsewhere in between.
again, you are technically correct. That means if you stay 2 weeks somewhere else and then go back to the UK, so you've isolated an island, let's say. But I would,
Yeah.
okay, no, then you're okay. If you feel like you were in a safe area, which we are, and you fly to Germany or Ireland. In fact, if you fly to a Schengen country, you don't even have to show your passport. So it's like getting on a bus. So like when we fly back to Germany to visit my daughter, our daughter, sorry, Chris. When we fly back to Germany, we don't even show the passport. You just get on the plane and go. It's like a bus.
So if I flew back from Tenerife to Germany, didn't show my passport, then got on a plane a few days later and flew from Germany to Tenerife, they'd probably see on system that I'd flown there.
Yeah, they probably insist. They probably ask you. Well, it depends what questions they ask you when you land in the UK. Here, you have to fill in the form to say where you were for the past week or two. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Andrew's saying, but are there any legal barriers that would stop you from flying out of the UK?
I don't think it's a question of legality. It's a question of character. That's the question. You can get around legal stuff with lawyers, and basically politics and legality is something we have to deal with. But it's to do with character. So, what is your character? Is the question.
My character is that. Somebody said, "Lee, let this be on your conscience, Lee." I think
that's what I mean.
The only problem with that one, Jay Steer, is I don't have a conscience.
But I think, I mean, if you said you were going to go to Madrid and then flaunt the rules and go back and not self-isolate, I'd be pretty angry. But coming here, I think you are pretty safe. I think if you're doing a risk analysis like that and you decide to do the risk, and with the legality of it, you hope you don't get caught and have to pay the £1,000 fine and get in the Daily Mail, then actually that'd be good, wouldn't it? It's cheap.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than buying an advert in the Daily Mail.
Vlogger.
Yeah, you could dob yourself into them, couldn't you? Send an anonymous message to the Daily Mail that says this big guy next door keeps going out, and I'm sure he's been to Tenerife because he's got a T-shirt that says so.
Yeah.
The Daily Mail will come and film you then. Cost you £1,000.
I wouldn't. In all seriousness, I wouldn't jeopardise and put anybody in danger. I wouldn't go to a country that's that's going to have a high COVID rate. But Tenerife, I felt safer there than I did here. To be honest.
I mean, I do agree with you, and I was listening to the COVID cast, or actually it's called the Canary Cast now, by Janet Anscombe and Cleo O'Flynn. They do a Monday and Thursday podcast here on the island. They're very good, actually. I recommend those. In fact, I can blend in Janet's website if you want to go there and find out all about that. So if you go to janetanscombe.com, they've got a podcast that they do, and they were saying that not one tourist has come down with COVID up to now. Not one.
Can I just say to Groy62, by the way, because he's put travel expert Simon Calder has received some strongly negative media attention this week for giving advice to millions of people about how to use loopholes, and the public won't forget this in a hurry. I'm not giving anybody any reason or loopholes to go through. My personal, what I do is, I'm coming to Tenerife in August. I'm not saying, and I'm sure you're not, Tim, for anybody that anybody should get on a plane and not listen to the government. They should go on the government's website and take heed of what they say, and then make their own choice on it.
It may be a moot point after next week, so it may be that we've come to an agreement that that something's happened behind closed doors, that something with Brexit has been agreed. Maybe we give Gibraltar back or something. I don't know.
It's, to me, it's like saying they're going to put the same rules on Britain as the Falkland Islands.
To tell you the truth, I think it's just simplicity. I think that there is mechanics and legalese that you've got to jump through hoops to be able to change something from an autonomous community in a foreign country instead of just giving a national recommendation. So I think it may be just laziness.
I think it's crazy. Patrick Pickard has put his holidays really essential travel. Well, I'm not going on holiday when I'm coming over to Tenerife. A lot of people said, oh, thanks for the videos when I'm on holiday. I'm not actually on holiday. I'm there filming. That's my job. So it is essential to me, because if I don't film, I don't get paid. So it's essential for me, because I need to put food in my family's mouth. Debbie Addis has said she's lost all faith in the UK government. She feels that there's definite corruption going on. There's a lot of comments coming through here, Tim. I'll read a couple more out. Just to,
I do apologise that I can't do the comments. In fact, no. Let me go to the comments. What I'll do is I'll put the view from outside on, and I'll go and look at the comments myself. They'll still be able to hear us though, Lee. So here's the pool again, live. So we're live vocally, Lee, but we're not live in the picture.
Okay. So can you see the comments on there? Can you read some of them?
Let me just go to Safari and go to the live stream. Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
John Morler said it just looks like a holiday. That's because I'm really good at what I do. And it does look like a holiday. And Pete Garrett says, MacMaster, you are a legend. Thanks, Pete. Peter Garrett.
Oh, I better turn this round because I got the neighbours on the new neighbours coming in. Don't want them on the picture. There you go. Okay. Thanks for answering. Okay. Basically, I'm way behind on this. Travel expert. Okay, you said that. Do you want me to go to the beginning again or just stay at the end? Hi, everyone, from Devesh Patel. I've had to cancel 8 holidays since March and never got to the 5th of August, cancelled due to the UK government 40-day quarantine. This correctly. It should not include the Canary Islands. No, you shouldn't, no. Walk with me, 000. He's a fellow, he is actually a fellow a vlogger on Tenerife, Walk with me. He does walk arounds.
He is?
Yeah, he's a nice lad. Alhambra is essential. Of course it is, Andrew. Of course it is. Paul Cole, if someone did come to the door, Lee, just hide in the toilet. No, that's a killer. That's a killer. That's a killer. Yeah. You got to see my face while I'm reading these. I don't know. Okay. Oh God, I've missed it. Brenda O'Donnell out for a month next summer. Missed last year due to friend's wedding. Missed this year 2 trips for COVID-19. Can't wait. Hi Lee, can you go up the mountain and show some villages and restaurants, Dave? It's from Banjo Lover Dave. Wants you to go up the mountain. If someone did come to the door, Lee, I've seen that one. Paul Matthew Gartland. I think the government might make changes on Friday if Spain's case levels off this week. Okay, that's pretty cool. Gimbal Walk TV, super. Impressed with the multicam live feed. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, that's good. Hang on. Lee, what day in August are you going? That's from Tom Herdman.
Middle of August, and by the way, I think I'm doing a balcony banter with you when I come over, I believe.
You definitely are. You're going to be. It's going to be on the Wednesday after you come. Is he bursting for the loo yet? Sylvia's asking. Mad McKay too. My heart goes out to lovely people. Mine too. Oh, it's all jumping back now. We got Tom Hardman. Lee, what day in August you going? Lee, what day in August you going? Lee, what day you going? August you going? Lee, what day? Tom, stop hitting the keyboard, please. I've got this system that if you do it too often, then it bans you automatically. My dad fly out on Friday with Ryanair.
Second week in August, mate.
Okay, Pete Byrne. Go away, get paid for what did you? The car. Okay, this has not been shown because he's swearing. Please don't swear, Peter Byrne. We'll hide this comment. Lee,
hi, can I say just hi to David Mulready? Hi there.
Ah, David Mulready. It's pretty cool. We saw him the other day, yesterday, in fact. I'm due out in September. Frosty Glass. Frosty Glass. There you go. You can meet Frosty Glass in September. Tom Hardman.
Excellent.
Okay, Tom Hardman keeps asking what day you're going out. David Longton, Tim, a great live video. Thank you, David. Bob Barrels, let's go to the Chicken Shack in a deck in August. Let's do it. Stacey Turner, hi, gutted we're not coming on the 15th of August. We'll be booking as soon as we can. Tim, you have a lovely view on your balcony. I really do, actually. I really do. I'm blessed. I am blessed. Hi, lads. Flight cancels with Jet 2 for the 77th of August. But Jet 2 has only cancelled flights from Northern Ireland until the 14th of August. So you can book a flight with Ryanair to fly out tomorrow from Dublin. There you go. So, actually, I have a birthday on the 77th of August. That's not true. Typo. Good job, lads. Thank you very much, Craig. Glasgow CC, due to fly out end of August. Where's me green hearts, Glasgow? John Morlar, hope you realise that COVID-19 is just the excuse to crash the dollar and have a reset. Long overdue. Let me get my tinfoil hat. Not saying it's a conspiracy theory, but we'll wait and see. Oh my God. Jan's in as well. I think she's been in a long time. I've just missed a glug of oil. There we go. Loving this live. Okay. So at least we're not doing the just reading out the comments now, because that's what I did yesterday, and I wasn't sure whether that was going to be informative at all. So I hope this is a good way to do it. Okay.
We've got Tom Hardman. Can I meet you when I come over in August? Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'll be there on the 21st of August. Come and meet me for yes, he's saying it again. Yes, you can, Tom. Absolutely fine. So yeah, there's quite a lot. So let me just ask one more question for people then. So
okay.
I wasn't concentrating.
Hang on a sec. Let me get you back on here,
on the comments.
And then you're in there, and I'm in here. Okay, we're back online. I'm not looking at comments now because I'm looking at you.
Okay, so